This episode is brought to you by Surfshark. What is Surfshark? It's an app, it's a browser extension, and it basically helps you protect your stuff. And it also allows you to find things that you normally wouldn't be able to because they block it. They say, yeah, you can't access it. And Surfshark says, yes, you can. It allows you to change your IP address to unblock content that you couldn't see otherwise, and you have access to the app itself. You log on where you are. For me, look, I'm in LA. I hit the button, boom, boom, boom. It says you're accepted, and then you start searching for your stuff. It's that easy. It's really great also because, especially, I get people all the time talking to me about Netflix. Did you see this stuff on Netflix that I was able to see? And I'm like, no, because I don't live in that country. It's like, well, again, Surfshark goes, hey, use your app. You'll be able to see it. And that's what you do. You log in, you go and you check it out, you pick the country, and you watch it. One of the other important things is that it encrypts your data and it puts an extra level of protection on it. That's the thing. That was the absolute for me, is that it keeps all your personal information safe, and you want to be secure, and that's, you know how the internet is, guys. And when you have somebody like Surfshark, that helps you get that extra layer of protection. The other thing I really like about Surfshark is the fact that you can have access to every device. It's not just one. And a lot of times that's what happens. Like, well, you're using it on your laptop, so you can't use it on your phone, or you can't use it on your iPad, or you can't use it on this. Surfshark says, no, you can use it on everything. It is unlimited. Use it on everything you want. So it's that simple. Look at all the great stuff already that I've told you that Surfshark provides. And how do you benefit? Well, you use my code BIGTHING. That's right. If you use that code BIGTHING, it will provide you guys with an exclusive deal. 3 extra months for free. That's right. So if you go to surfshark.deals/bigthing, surfshark.deals/bigthing, get yourself 3 extra months for free. I mean, that's enough right there. So go and check it out. Stay safe. Do what you got to do. It's Surfshark. And I just pointed at you again. Happy Tuesday. It is UAP Tuesday, everybody. Excited to have you back. We're doing the digital today because Mark Reilly not able to be in studio, and I can't do the show without Mark Reilly. I got to. If he's available, I got to talk to him. We started this thing together. Ride or die, baby. There's stuff going on. There's always stuff going on in the world of the UAPs. What's this whole thing about? Is the U.S. government preparing to announce alien life? That's a new report, a potential report. There's a proposed UFOs controlled disclosure plan and how it's going to work. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about those particular details. We heard NASA last week. NASA was talking about the stuff they were going to do. Well, they also revealed that they have a weapon, the latest weapon. It's going to search the heavens for UFOs and aliens. Now, outside the realm of just UFOs and UAPs and potential alien life form, we still talk about like the universe in general and the galaxy in general. How cool is it that we have samples from an asteroid that could be billions of years old, and no one's talking about it. That's the theme of everything here. It's crazy. It's crazy, but this could say so much about the universe in general. It really could be. So we'll talk about a few of those things there, and that's kind of where we're at today. So it's myself and Mark Reilly. It's UAP Tuesday. Big thing. Let's do it. All right, everybody, welcome back to the Big Thing UAP Tuesday. Thanks for joining me here today on this Tuesday. And lots to be talked about. I'm bringing him back. I always bring him back. The one, the only. Welcome back. I'm fine. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm good,
Okay.
man.
I got
Yeah.
an idea to get people more the UAP more coverage.
How?
We should send Biden and Trump to an asteroid for a debate.
Right. And it's true. That's how we'll actually
That'll
get it
work.
covered.
That'll work.
Or the Kardashians, one of the two.
Taylor
So
Swift and Kansas City Chiefs.
I'll
Put
tell
them
you.
out there.
I'll tell you what, man. I just saw not Taylor Swift, but I just saw Ed Sheeran at the
I saw that. Yeah.
SoFi. 81,000 people. That look, I'm not going to pretend that I'm a major Ed Sheeran fan. I don't know his music that well, but I'll tell you. I took my daughter, but I'll tell you this: my man can perform.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, running around the stage for 2.5 hours, no break. Like, I got a lot of respect for that cat, man. He's
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got some really good music. But nonetheless, we're not here to because I don't think Ed Sheeran's an alien, so we're not going to talk about it. But
Nah.
what I will say is, just did you heard about this thing, the asteroid, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's amazing. You set it up top. I mean, the science is amazing right now.
I mean,
That's
the
why
fact,
this is we're talking about all this stuff, and I've said numerous time, I think technology is gonna catch up sooner or later, where we're
yeah,
all gonna be able to catch certain things out there that otherwise we wouldn't be able to. But, we talked a couple weeks ago about the guy going down to the bottom of the ocean and getting something. Now we
yeah.
have it's fascinating to consider, anything that comes out from
And
space here.
this one's really fascinating. Whether you UAPs, UFOs, alien, this is just really cool, man. And NASA asteroid sample lands safely in Utah before being whisked away by a helicopter. Scientists are excited over the safe arrival over a canister containing about a cup's worth of asteroid rocks collected 200 million miles away, and it landed in the Utah desert after a 7-year NASA mission sent to retrieve them. The black pebbles and dirt are older than Earth, and they are undisturbed remnants of the solar system's early days of planet formation. As part of an asteroid named Bennu, these rocks traveled unsoiled through space for eons. While bits of asteroids regularly fall into our planets as meteorites, scientists want to study the material and stuff that's uncontaminated by our planet to understand the early chemistry that might have contributed to the emergence of life. That's why scientists immediately whisked the capsule into a nearby clean room and put it under a cloak of nitrogen gas to protect it from the Earth's atmosphere as it's transported to the Johnson Space Center in Houston. Researchers anticipate getting to open up the sealed sample canister there either late Monday or Tuesday, something they have dreamed for a while, they said. Today capped the end of an almost 20-year adventure, says Dante Loretta, a planetary scientist at the University of Arizona and the leader of NASA's OSIRIS-REx mission. I was fortunate enough to be one of the first people to lay eyes on the capsule, and boy, do we stick that landing. He's eager to start analyzing the asteroid rock to see what surprises it might hold. We think we have a sample, got a lot of sample in that science canister, and we can't wait to crack into it. So this is pretty awesome.
That's cool. The older than Earth.
Older than Earth, and the question is
It's just
like
what? All right, here we
what
go.
is it? Like what is it, right? Like what is it part of a is like, how old is it? Was it part of another planet from years and years and years and years before that too? Like what was it? Like what the
Yeah,
fact that they can study that and see what those materials are, that's to me a scientific thing that people aren't talking about still. Like a couple people are talking about, but that should be like a major story.
thematically, we're gonna touch on this every show.
Yeah.
No, but it's don't look up, it's like we can't look beyond what's in front of us, in the circus daily, whether it's life, politics, I don't know,
Right.
movies, so, I just think we're kind of set in our ways.
I
How
know.
are we going to look up when we're looking into this?
It's the truth, but it's just
That's
like,
my
oh,
and I'm horrible at this,
yeah.
but I also am trying to take my gaze off it. This is fascinating. Just where however you want to slice it, if you consider it being older than Earth, like that can uncover in science and data like so much
Yeah.
that you can start to like and it's they said it like origin of life, going back if you believe in the Big Bang theory, going all the way where does it go? Does it go
Right.
forever?
Right.
Is it Loki falling in space and Doctor Strange's sanctum? It's just,
It's true. It's
I
like
don't
where
know.
like what is it? Like and how much can they really tell what it is and determine from it? And this is like a scientist like wet dream. You know what I mean? It's like if you're
Yeah.
it really is. It's like if you find this, did you see any of the footage from when it actually landed? Like it looked like I
No.
did. It looked like I did when the Giants won the Super Bowl. Oh, it's like they were jumping out of their chair and they were screaming. It was a really nice feel good moment because it was like a major move. And I
Yeah.
mean, it was such a move. It made Neil deGrasse Tyson smile for God's sakes. That guy never smiles. And he was on CNN or something. I saw some video and he was excited about it. And I think it's a major look. And does it actually play into any of the energy or anything that we're talking about here? Is there any other materials that
Never
how
say never.
you
Why
never
why not?
why not? And it kind of plays into the next story that we're talking about here with the NASA thing. NASA reveals, and this came out yesterday, Mark, September 25th. Artificial intelligence and machine learning will be essential to finding and proving the existence of extraterrestrial life and UFOs, NASA said. Not Billy Bob Magoo, NASA. The space agency recently released its highly anticipated 36-page UFO report that said that NASA doesn't have enough high quality data to make a definitive science conclusion about the origin of UFOs. Moving forward, AI will be vital to pinpointing anomalies while combing through large data sets, according to the report compiled by NASA's independent research teams on UAPs. And we will use AI and machine learning to search the skies for anomalies and will continue to search the heavens for habitable reality. NASA Administrator Bill Nelson said during a September 14th briefing. AI is just coming on the scene and will be explored in all areas. So, why should we limit any technological tool in analyzing using data that we have? Dr. Nicola Fox, NASA's associate administrator, elaborated on Nelson's point, saying AI is an amazing tool to find signatures that are sort of buried in data. That's how NASA and scientists around the world are going to be able to find the metaphorical needle in a haystack. NASA's study of UAP is separate from the Pentagon's investigation through the All Domain Anomaly Resolution Office. Although two investigations are running on parallel tracks that include corroborative efforts. Much like a team of peer reviewers, NASA commissions independent study teams as a formal part of NASA's scientific project process, and such teams provide the agency external counsel and increased network of perspectives from scientific experts. They were assigned to pinpoint the data around UAPs and produce a report that outlines a roadmap for how NASA can use its tools of science to obtain usable data. All right, so there's a lot in there, obviously. All right, so there is also a report that Burchett is wary about NASA's claim that it
Mhm.
is hiding UAP data, right? He NASA says there's no evidence. Burchett says the government has told us that they don't exist since 1947. So he's very skeptical, obviously. So my question to you, Reilly, is that even if they did, and I guess off of Burchett's concern, let's say they did find stuff, who's to say that the same programs like, hey, if you do find something, call us first. Don't tell the public,
Mhm.
you know?
So he's not buying NASA saying that
No,
they're
he
not
said
doing
so
any.
no, what he said is he told News Nation he doesn't trust what the representatives were telling him. He said, "Since 1947, our federal government has told us that these things do not exist. Now, 60% of the population thinks that we're not alone. There has been a large bipartisan effort from Congress demanding the transparency, but Burchett remains skeptical about some of the federal agencies' efforts on UAPs. He just doesn't. I mean, rightfully so. He doesn't. It's a branch of that he doesn't trust, and I'll be honest, I don't really trust it either.
Yeah.
I like I like that they're involved in it because when they start talking about this kind of stuff, when it's NASA that says that they're searching for the life, it becomes more credible.
Yeah, legit, right? Yeah, it's everybody's gonna play their cards, I feel, pretty close to the vest with
Yeah,
some of this stuff moving forward, and at least that there's an acknowledgement from NASA that they're something, they just don't have enough data. I
right.
but I would I buy that they are like that's a smoke screen and that they have something over here that they're like, "This might be something," and they don't
Right.
wanna say it yet? Yes. I think that's a possibility as well, but,
Access to all these satellites, right? They have access to all this stuff, and it's
it's
like they
NASA, right? It's
right.
you gotta assume they have their
Some
hands in anything outside of Earth.
and I mean, they've even
That's
said it
where they go.
and that's the thing is that it's like so I don't know. It's I do find Burchett's concerns viable, right?
Uh-huh,
Because it's like because I don't
yeah.
because I just even not that I think that necessarily that NASA is part of this cover up for so long, but it's like I just feel like they why wouldn't they get a phone call from those people that are going, hey, don't release that. Tell us. And then they go, okay, because we've been coordinating with you guys for years anyway. So if that's the case, it's just, I don't
Yeah.
know. But it does lead into, I want to get into our main story. But before we do, I do want to tell you guys about both Rocket Money and AG1, two incredible sponsors that we have. Here you go. Come on, man. Rocket Money. Rocket Money. So many different times you sign up for these apps and you go, oh, that's a cool app. I'm going to do that for like 3 weeks. And then I'll remember to change it. and then I won't get charged. And then you do. And you get charged like $9.99 a month, $12 a month. And you're like, how the hell did I spend so much money on something I never use? Well, that's what Rocket Money is able to do. Rocket Money is a personal finance app, and it finds and it cancels your unwanted subscriptions, it monitors your spending, and it helps you lower your bills all in one place. It is crazy for me that more people don't A, know about it, and B, aren't using it. I mean, everybody should be using this. I've been using them for so long, even before they were even called Rocket Money. But now they're called Rocket Money, and they are fantastic. They monitor all your expenses in one place. They recommend custom budgets based on your past spending, and they'll send you notifications when you reached your spending limits. I get it all the time. I get updated. Hey, your credit's better. You have this, you have that. You spent this much. Stop spending on this. Look at this. Look, you have the subscription. You never use this. Do that. It's helped so much. I can't even tell you. I am not great at organizing, and it helps me organize all of my finances. Stop wasting money on things you don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and manage your money the easy way. Go to rocketmoney.com/thing. 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 This is one you will absolutely thank me for. Thank me for. And you should. I thank myself for using it. I love Rocket Money. I love talking about AG1. It's the daily foundational nutrition supplement that supports whole body health. I drink it every day. Set it up. I put it in this cup. I've told you about the zoo cup that I have. I love this stupid zoo cup, but I love AG1 because I put it in the cup, just mix it around, and that's it. I get better gut health. I have a boost of energy. I have my immune system support. It's helping my sleep quality. That's what's really great about it. It helps my sleep quality. I'm just never been a person that can keep up with that supplement routine. And here's 3,000 different vitamins. But take this point, take this, then screw that. I take it once, put it in that cup, shake it around, and that's it. And I felt so much better. I have a extra pep in my step because of it. And I don't understand why people want to take a whole bunch of different things. You can just do it all. One scoop of powder, put it in water once a day. That's it. Because it was designed with ease in mind. You can live your life healthier and better, and you don't have to complicate your routine. I love getting the single serving, the AG1 travel packs for me because they're just simple. If I have my, even when I go to a screening, sometimes if I forget to take it, I'm like, oh, I got my travel pack. I'll take it now, and I never miss a day. If you want to take ownership of your health, you try AG1. You get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase. Go to drinkag1.com/bigthing. drinkag1.com/bigthing. Check it out. It's every single week I get somebody saying, hey, I tried it. I signed up because of you. You've been telling me about it, and I love it. Be one of those people. Tell me about it. Get control of your energy. Get control of good sleep quality. Drink AG1. All right. Thank you to our friends again over at Rocket Money. I'm telling you, man, like Rocket Money will change your stuff. And so at AG1 will make you feel good. It does. Energy, good sleep quality. I love it. And once again, if you're able to, and I made a community post. I won't go over all the details and everything too. But I did, and there's such positive responses on the community post that I put on YouTube. And I thank you guys so much. And that's why I said, like, if you're able to, and for people, you don't understand like how helpful it is when you're able to, if you have the means to, and you're getting one of these sponsors, you're keeping us going. So thank you. And if you don't, by putting a like, throwing a comment in there, being involved in the discussion, that's really helpful too. So to everybody, thank you very much. Appreciate it more than you know. All right, Reilly, let's get into this this story I thought was pretty fascinating. Um, this is from the Daily Mail. Is the US government preparing to announce aliens? This is the Senate's proposed UFO controlled disclosure plan and how it would work. The Senate passed an act that would require disclosure of UFO evidence. The act would give government offices 300 days to collect records. A review board would then look at the records before going public. The government could be forced to disclose if aliens have visited Earth under the new legislation. The Senate passed an amendment in July that will be part of the National Defense Authorization for 2024. Known as the UAP Disclosure Act, it says government agencies with records sample of craft or biological material must hand it over within 300 days. President Joe Biden will have 90 days to appoint a 9-person review board responsible for investigating each record and determining if they are considered UAPs that should be disclosed to the public. Any government agency processing such records will be required to hand over printed and digital copies to the board, which has 80 days to investigate and 14 days to publish their findings. The president, however, can vote against disclosing specific evidence if it poses a national threat. This is how it would work. Government's 300-day plan to announce aliens. 1. President has 90 days to choose 9 people for the review board. 2. Government hands over all UAP records to review board in 300 days. 3. Review board has 180 days to investigate each case. 4. The review board must publish determination within 14 days after review is complete. The one that I want to get to, though, Riley, is step 2. Governments must hand over UAP records. The act states that government offices have 300 days after the date of enactment to hand over the records to the review board. These offices include the President, the Department of Defense, all military branches, the Department of Energy, the Director of National Intelligence, the Library of Congress, and more. The document also names the Manhattan Project would produce the first nuclear bomb. However, these agencies will return ownership of the UAP records, which they will preserve and secure. This is a fascinating article, and it's fascinating. Again, as you said in the beginning of this episode, it's a theme that we've been saying on the show since we started.
Yeah.
Why am I reading this from the Daily Mail? You know what I mean?
Nobody's because we have so much going on, politics and other things in the United States, at least.
Look, I'm all for writer strike is a major thing. It's a major thing. It's a huge thing, and it's going to probably bring in more work for you and I. The fact that all the strikes are going to be over. It's a major story. Is it bigger than fucking aliens? Going to be? It potentially could be revealed to the government.
No.
It's
no, let me and I speak for everybody on the big thing UAP Tuesday, for me and you, by saying that President Biden should appoint us on that 9-person committee to go over this stuff so that we can then bring it to the people here. Because that's the thing. But what's so funny? You're reading this, and then I'm thinking about the previous story with NASA, where they're like, "No, there's nothing out there. There's not enough data." And then this story is like, "Release the data. We're going to get that out there. Are aliens real?" And it's just like, when a criminal commits a crime in one county and crosses the county line, and two organizations and law enforcement get involved, and then they don't want to share their stuff.
Right.
Because it's like that's what it feels like.
It's
and it always, for me, worrisome that I am go down the what do you got? Are you reverse engineering this shit?
I
And that's why you don't want to share.
But that's the thing, though, right? It's like, so let's say that this thing that they're putting together here, this plan that they have, 90 days to appoint the president. So Joe Biden.
But it's overall good, though, to get this moving.
It seems like they're taking it serious, right? But it's like, all right, so Joe Biden, he's got 90 days. He chooses 9 people, right? So then we find out who the 9 people are, and then they hand over. It's once we get to stage 2, I'm like, okay. 2, government hands over all UAP records to review board. Now, if Trump was supposedly hiding classified documents in his toilet, you don't think that these people are they're gonna go like this? Oh yeah. You want the which one do you want? Oh, you want no, we don't have that one. We don't have that one.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know. It's like, so the government, like, who's policing it? Who's the Wyatt Earp?
Deep Throat.
Yeah. Who's the guy or gal that's gonna go, okay, well, look, we're not gonna tell you when we're coming. We're just gonna show up, give us all the stuff. Like who's doing that? Because
we need a Kevin Feige to run everything.
Who's the Kevin Feige of this plan?
Kevin Feige of all UAP, so that there's a representative, and right now it's like Grusch. It's like he seems to be the guy that is out there kind of making a name and a face, putting a face.
He's a whistleblower, right? He's not the guy that's going to be running this stuff.
That was where it was going. Yeah, but who has the ability to know what's next to the Ark of the Covenant and can come out and say, "Listen,"
and it's going to go after
you this, but
and who's going to go after him? And then because stage 3 and 4, the review board has 180 days to investigate each case. Again, same thing. I don't want one person on that committee when you say UAP, they go, I don't want one person like that. I want I want people on there that go that are like, okay, like I want people like by the way, now I'll say David Grusch. And when they go, oh well, yeah, because he's in it. He was not someone who believed in any of this stuff before he started there. I want people like that to go, okay, show me the stuff, show me the evidence, and if there's evidence, and I'll believe it. I want people who want to. I don't mind skeptics. I mind
Yeah,
people who are going to look at it and go, well, wait a minute. I
we need
want
the
people.
best minds. We
Yeah,
need good minds on this.
I want
Yeah.
somebody that you're going to see an actual alien body and go, oh shit, that's an alien body.
Yeah,
Yeah. Uh,
that's just, I mean, if that's for real, if that's true that they're like, let's go a few steps further, I guess, and they get some information and they're able to see alien bodies, extraterrestrial remains, bodies not of
right,
human origin.
right.
What then? That still remains for me. And even as Grush has said that, he's hinted at it, that's the one for me that I really want and really am so skeptical. And then the Mexican hearings don't help anything. Um, but I don't know. It just, what God, that would be. So then step after that, what do you tell us?
Yeah.
But I don't know. Again, we're gonna go around in circles. We are so far removed from this in so many aspects of, I mean, you're talking about literal men in black, right? Like
Right, but you know what
it's
the
the
difference are, Riley? I don't
mhm,
know. I'm starting to. I go back and forth. I teeter on this every weekend. I'm not. I'm flip flop if even will say so, and I'm not ashamed to say it.
hmm,
Some days I feel like we're never gonna get past this, and we're not, and no one's gonna. It's gonna be the same old thing, the same vicious circle. Then I go, I don't know. In my lifetime, and I think maybe because remember, before the Roswell was announced as a balloon, that was the all-time fever pitch as far as everyone believing that aliens had arrived and that craft had the entire everyone who knew about that was like, holy shit, because that's the way it was being reported,
yeah,
right? So since
passed
then,
into legend.
yeah, and since then, this is the most my because February, or not February, I guess it was 2018 or 2019, whenever that was on Collider Live when we watched that, the
Yeah,
Graves video.
the Tic Tac. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the one that was the New York Times article when that came out. That was when it became legit, but then since then, it's been quiet. This is the most that I've seen more and more people start to go, "Wait a minute, what is
Mhm.
that?" But and then the internet also, as much as I hate social media, I think that it is really benefited this topic too, because very similar to what you always said, there's only so long with the technology that we have that can go, oh no, 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 nothing to see here. Because now you got people sharing it so many different times and talking about it in different communities that you can only put the fire blanket on so many of these fires.
Yeah. I saw something today on Twitter that looked so legit to me.
Yeah.
And you never know. I mean, I didn't, but it was over the ocean and it was a cold day. It looked like, it could have been like
Is this one when it went into the water?
mhm. Yeah,
So
and it's
that
just flying overhead, and it looked like the Tic Tac.
so that one
That
is being so let me jump to this next story. So this is again what people don't know. The US government released quietly
mm,
10 videos. Um,
yes.
and this is the one that you said. I actually, you know what?
Is that the
You-
one? So that's the one they released?
So
Well,
that's
that
one of
makes
the ones that they
sense.
released. So the one
Of
that
course
that
it's
you're
okay, so
the one you're talking about, to be fair, I actually saw them talking about it on MSNBC. Um, and
great.
that's where I saw it. They were talking. The reporter was baffled, didn't understand what it was, and the guy he was talking about, I'm not sure who he was, the expert, still didn't know how to explain what it was because I think it's the one you saw. It was like zipping really, really fast, going through, and they're following it, and then it went in the water, up, and then in the water. They think it's split, and then
Yeah.
they didn't know what happened to it.
It yeah.
So
It's
yeah, this
that
is
that that's so the if we take the aliens out of it and just crafts,
right,
and we've talked
right.
about hypotheticals and whatnot and
But what is
theories,
it?
but I mean, that that evidence right there, if they're releasing this, what is like, why aren't we talking about this every day and getting more? I mean, Jesus Christ, I
And
just
it's
went
quiet,
backwards.
dude. Is it this
It's
like so
just
this
so
is this
quiet
is
and
again Daily Mail again, a trench of UFO videos, including never before seen footage, has been quietly released by federal law enforcement. US Customs and Border Protection, the agency responsible for keeping terrorists and their weapon out of the country. Again, not Billy Bob Magoo. The US Customs and Border Protection uploaded 10 videos. 10 that appear to show craft moving in strange ways in our skies. Videos released on August 9th without a warning, a press release, or much way of context only discovered by UFO enthusiasts on online sleuth earlier this week. The videos document a fighter jet pursued by an apparently baffling flying orb, as well as something that appears to be a propeller powered hang glider, and yet another apparent floating orb hovering this time parked near a 16-wheeler truck. The drop itself, which offered little detail regarding the times and locations of these sightings, plus more than a few sweeps redactions, has left more than questions answered. The quiet video drop followed rising tensions within the corridors of powers in Washington on the once taboo subject of UFOs. Open hearings, federal legislation, and brand new government offices have now been dedicated openly to the investigation of these aerial mysteries, with at least one former U.S. intelligence official calling the strange sightings a national security issue. The U.S. Customs and Border Patrol uploaded 10 videos that appear to show craft moving in strange ways. One video documents a fighter jet pursued by an apparent flying orb, in which key technical details from the agency's infrared camera displayed. The most significant is the USCB release confirms, at least tactically, the veracity of a heavily scrutinized 2013 thermal UFO video leaked to UFO researchers in 2015. For the first time, the 2013 Puerto Rico has been confirmed. That was the one, the Puerto Rico one. So I'm gonna keep this up, and I'll play some of the video over it when I'm talking about it.
that's
Videos,
great.
yeah, the videos were released on a dedicated site for agency records. But yeah, there's tons of this stuff. We're getting on the Defense Department side, 50 to 100 reports per month, and it's happening globally. It's happening overseas. It's happening off the East Coast and the West Coast. Uh, it says Chris Mellon, formerly with the Secretary of Defense for Intelligence, praised U.S. Customs for the UFO record drops. So there's tons of new stuff coming out, and again, tons of it,
That
and
the
it's
one
quiet.
line in there. Sorry, finish,
You
Christian.
know, guys, just it's quietly being dropped. Quietly, it's like, should I push upload? Yeah, it's like when they were doing the Disney Plus uploads at midnight.
Yeah.
It's like drop it at like 4 in the morning, and maybe no one will notice it.
Yeah, key line in there that he did just slam me, and it's the once taboo
Right.
topic of
Yep.
UAPs,
Yeah.
quietly uploading these videos. It's like there is the stigma needs to be broken because again, to your judge,
Yeah.
Chris Christie saying what he said in the Republican Party debates, and then coming back on it when there was interest. There is that gigantic block in how many people would you say out there
But it
wanting to listen, wanting like there's us,
yeah.
there's skeptics that are like DJ,
Yeah.
who was like a little bit skeptical, but is
A little.
willing to little, and then but wanting to get evidence base
Right.
behind it. There's so
Right.
many different people out there. Once taboo though, that's it. Might as
It's
well
one
say we have footage of a wizard turning a horse into a dragon.
it's still that's the same thing though, right? It's because you can't get that's one of those things that DJ brought this up, and I saw this too, which I just like they were talking about how sometimes they thought these things that are moving really fast were actually moving kind of slow. This thing that you saw is moving at an incredible speed. It's like an
Yeah,
incredible speed. It's like every once in a while maybe that happens, but every single time no. But the problem is using the DJ as an example. Even this footage, which going under the water in the 10 videos, it doesn't answer his questions as far as like how is it anything else than what he thinks it might be, whether he still thinks it's weather anomalies and all this other stuff. It's like this footage, as cool as it is for us, and the fact that they're more so doing it and releasing more of it and showing all these different reports that are coming out. They're not going to convince people like DJ yet until, or my wife or your wife, they're not going to convince them yet until it's like one of these things where our next story that I'll talk about here is, they're actually NASA is going to actually do a sample of those ET alien bodies.
with the from the Mexican
Yeah.
hearing.
Yeah, let me
Good,
read let me
fine.
read let me read this.
I heard this. Yes,
Let me
I
let me
heard
read it.
that.
Let me find
Let's
it.
get to the bottom of this, and I hope it's not cake.
All right, this is an exclusive. This one came out on September 22nd as well. NASA contractor will reportedly study 1,000-year-old alien corpse that was presented to Mexico's Congress. A NASA contractor is reportedly looking to study alien bodies that were presented to Mexico's Congress during a controversial UFO hearing. Jamie Mousen, a veteran broadcast journalist and prolific ufologist who presented the corpses last week, told thedailymail.com that an unnamed third-party contractor has been in contact with him about carrying out a DNA investigation potentially on behalf of the US Space Agency. The news comes just 1 week after NASA's top UFO investigator, Dr. David Spergel, was pressed about the purported alien corpse and did not shut them down entirely. Dr. Spergel told reporters, "We don't know the nature of these samples. My recommendation is if you have something strange, make samples available to the world scientific community and we'll see what's there." Hassan had first unveiled the pair of alleged 1,000-year-old bodies reportedly unearthed in a Peruvian cave during UFO hearings held by the General Congress of the United Mexican States, unleashing an international firestorm. While Musan heralded the body's discovery as one of the most important in human history, his presentation has sparked an outcry from numerous scientists, anthropologists, and even some dedicated UFO researchers. This week, the temperature of the debate climbed higher, with Peru's Minister of Culture filing criminal charges, accusing Musan and his collaborators of robbing the bodies from ancient graves. As of 2022, Peru's culture ministry has designed approximately 26,000 protected archaeological sites across the country, but has faced budget constraints in its efforts to secure these valuable artifacts from black market antiques dealers. But as Masson told the Daily Mail, I personally went to the Ministry of Culture to ask them to do the investigation to get involved in this finding. They never did. We tried many times. We sent letters. And let me tell you something else, Masson asked. You remember NASA saying that this should be investigated and so on? A contractor from NASA took the challenge. They are a laboratory dedicated to the reading of DNA. Despite several attempts by the Daily Mail via phone and email, NASA's Office of Public Affairs could not be reached for comment. Plot thickens, Riley. So, for his part, Hassan expressed concern that too much transparency too early could upset the delicate investigation, which he says are now underway. When asked by the Daily Mail, Hassan declined to identify the NASA contractor by name. Contractor from NASA. That's all I can tell you. I won't tell you the name. I want to keep it private until they can do their investigation. But the Mexican broadcaster, who was once chief investigative reporter and editor of 60 Minutos, the country's affiliate of 60 Minutes, was nevertheless willing to speculate on the NASA's contractor's next steps. I think they're going to Peru. They're coming to Mexico to check on the bodies, to take samples. They want to do their own DNA investigation. And we said, yes, we are open to it. Massad's efforts to garner professional scientific interest in the potential of alien specimens from Latin America has spawned years with setbacks and success, but never before the level of international scrutiny. I mean, look,
Hmm.
this is what I will say. I still smell a fart. Um,
Yeah, I do
but
too.
it but the thing is this guy's either telling the truth or he's a full psychopath.
Yeah.
Because if he if he now decides, watch this, I'm gonna go in front of the government. I'm gonna go in front of the government. Hey, look at this. Oh, look at this little body.
Aliens.
Yeah, my friends made this. Um, and then if he did that, and then he goes, well, NASA called me and they want to do a thing. And even if NASA didn't call him, and NASA called me. Why not? But I'm not gonna give you the name. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
tell you who they are. And he's just pretending. It's like you're destroying your credibility at all. And he's always gonna be that's the guy at the that's the guy
Right.
at the hearing.
Right.
However, if this guy turns out to be Jeff Goldblum, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's like we're sitting here going, I don't know, I smell a fart. And he's going, okay, stupid. NASA's calling me and they're going to do it. And that because this plays into the fact that goes back to our previous story. If NASA starts, let's say that they come up with these samples and they actually do something and they tell President Biden, this is one of the cases that you guys should put together that committee.
Yeah.
And it's one of the things. And then they go, oh, by the way, those little alien bodies, we don't know what those are. And we think they are actually extraterrestrial. and then
Yeah.
that guy is no longer a lunatic.
Right. Goes one way, it can go either way, I
Either
guess. Yeah,
way.
we'll wait and see. I mean, yeah, it has so much intrigue in the story too. Who's
Yeah.
this guy? Just a NASA guy. It's a NASA guy that I'm talking
What's his
to.
name? Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. It's
Right.
Javier Bardem from No Country for Old Men.
Right. Right. Right.
You
So it's like,
know, it's like that's where my mind goes. It's
right.
like I'm talking to a NASA guy. Yeah, where are we meeting? We're meeting by this cliff
Right.
in Washington. There's no cell service out there. Great. Bring everything. Yeah, I don't know. I don't
I
know.
know.
It,
It
it, it could be anything. It's
it is. It's just it also I don't know enough about the guy to where he would be able really like if it was fake and he was just trying and like I said, what he probably should have done if it was fake, to which I don't I'm just not buying it. But
it's still yeah, it's hard to
but
buy.
the fact that he's still going, yeah, yeah, here they are, I got them, and I'm gonna if you want to take samples, go ahead. And
Good. Take samples then.
he's not saying if he was like, "Oh, yeah, I don't know where they are now. I don't know where they are now,"
Right.
or, "Oh, yeah, I don't want anybody else to look at them. They're for me." Then he'd be like, "Okay, guy," but he's saying, "Yeah, yeah, go ahead, study them." Like that's I do go like this, you
Yeah,
know?
I'm doing that too because wouldn't it be so funny? You know, it went viral. You know that TikToker
Yeah,
made the cake.
that's hilarious.
For it to come out that they're okay, and NASA could very well go inconclusive. We don't have enough data yet. We're going to go back and
Right.
that to me would even be more a little bit more legit in my eyes. It'd be like, what?
Well,
Okay.
but it hasn't been completely debunked yet. That's what
No, I know. I keep checking.
no, it hasn't. And
Yeah.
that's the thing is that what people keep saying is, "Oh, they have been. Those bodies were
I
debunked."
haven't
No, no,
seen.
no,
I mean,
no.
there was
In
just sitting.
2017, there were similar ones that were, I guess, that's that were, but I mean, then people are just like, well, of course, if they're similar, then it's probably the same things. But they haven't had somebody like a NASA or somebody else. That's when I'm gonna go, okay, case closed. Get out of here, you lunatic. This is they just did the samples, and it's not aliens. It's from whatever it was. You robbed these graves, and they're these people, these villagers from years and years ago,
Yeah.
and you robbed their graves. Now beat it and stop. And you can't talk about UFOs anymore.
Yeah.
However, however, if they check it and it's like, nope, he was right. Jeff Goldblum.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Life found a way.
Yeah. And no, no,
Yeah,
but no, and
I'm
that's Goldblum in Jurassic Park. I'm talking about Goldblum in Independence Day.
Independence Day. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
No,
Everybody thought he was nuts.
I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for it. It's hard again. I'm the one that's like on the UFO show doing the aliens a leap for me. I'm waiting for that. I am most skeptical about alien bodies
Yeah.
because and maybe okay, let's throw this out there. It's mostly because of what we talk and touch on in every episode, and that's the government's inability to shed light on anything.
Right.
So for me, it's like they would have said something and they would have shown something. It would have been so monumental to know that there would be an alien life or extraterrestrial non-human, that they have that, as Grusch was alluding to, that we would hear something. But then I just answer my own question. You know, I
I know.
say that in a rant and I'm like, yeah, why would they? This is
Why
going
would
on.
it? I know.
And why would people even care? It
Well,
seemed, or the media, the
well,
news.
that's the interesting question, as I brought up earlier in the show, Riley. Right? It's like we are getting to a place, whether it is shows like ours, bigger news outlets like News Nation or The Hill, or whatever it is, who's covering this all the time. Even MSNBC was just covering the same video that you did. More and more people are talking about it. I saw CNN talking about it with even so the alien bodies. By the way, what I will say is this, and before I jump over to the next thing, Neil deGrasse Tyson, when he was talking about that asteroid on the same CNN. What's the report? Aaron, I can't remember her name. She's been around forever.
Yeah.
Anyway, so CNN was talking to him, and she asked him about the asteroid, and he was getting excited about the asteroid, what it could mean. Then she asked him about the Mexican bodies.
Hmm.
He didn't poop on it in the way that you thought that he would. He said he thought it was fascinating in the way that it was brought up. Let me see if I can find that audio. Hold on. All right, I want to play this whole thing with Neil deGrasse Tyson because I actually think it's pretty interesting. Everything we were talking about, plus the alien body stuff. Let's talk
Yeah.
about the other side.
Of UFOs, right? Congress has a hearing on UFOs. And so people were talking about UFOs and aliens in a more serious way than being on the front of the National Enquirer, the way it used to be. So a Mexican journalist displayed bodies of two supposed non-human beings in Mexico, in front of the Congress in Mexico. Okay, um, each with three-fingered hands and elongated heads. Now, before we all mock the video, right? Because it's gotten a lot of mocking. It looks a lot like ET. But as I said, NASA just announced for the first time a director of research on UFOs. So they are taking this overall topic more seriously. What's your take on this?
Well, first of all, I like what they did in Mexico. They had what they claimed are alien bodies, and they brought it out in front of their Congress. That's better than leaving them in a locked box and saying you and no one else can get to see them. So that's a start. But in science, a new truth, an objective truth, is only established when multiple labs can analyze whatever your claim is. When we brought rocks back from the moon, we distributed them to all the labs of the world. So everybody participated in that discovery. So here, bring out samples to others and let other people, skeptical people in other labs, test this. They'll either verify it or falsify it, and then we move on.
What we're
That's what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. That's
Yeah,
exactly what I was saying. Yeah.
I agree with him 100%. I agree with him 100%.
He's open to it.
And he said that, but he said what a lot of people actually were saying the opposite to it, which is crazy considering he's been one of the biggest skeptics in general. He said, "Look, at least they brought bodies out." He said,
Right.
instead of going, "Oh, we think we
Yeah.
got them back there," they brought something out.
That's the
Now,
biggest point too that I like to make. It's like, don't just say it's like that
right?
transparency is going to get us somewhere to break that stigma, to break that wall down, that
But you got to
more
test it.
people are talking about it.
Yeah, you got to test it. So, I am going to ask this question to you before we take off about, and I'm going to ask the audience this too, because of all this stuff and the fact that they are now starting to do a little more segments on CNN, NBC, CNBC, or MSNBC, Fox, like all these different places are starting to cover it a little bit more. I want to ask the audience as we start to see more people talking about it, is it going to are we going to start getting more stuff? Is it going to start to disappear? I'm going to talk to you guys about that in just a second. And before I do also want to bring up our good friends over at BetterHelp. I've talked to you guys many times about BetterHelp. I have people inside of my family, I have close friends. I'll tell you a little bit more about them right now. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Everybody's been in that position, man. You're trying to go to sleep and your thoughts just keep going and going and going. You're talking and you have worries in your life and you're like, I can't turn it off. I can't rest. I can't sleep and I can't do this. And everybody's been there. I've been there. You've been there. And a great way to make those racing thoughts go away is to be able to talk them out, talk them through to somebody. Therapy will give you a place to do that so you can get out of your negative thought cycles and find some mental and emotional peace. I've mentioned it many times on this show. Roxy Stryer is a very close friend of mine. She's on the show all the time. And she talks about how BetterHelp was one of those places she was able to go. She was able to benefit from it. She was able to talk to somebody. And it really worked out. I've got people very close inside of my family using BetterHelp right now. And it has been absolutely beneficial to them. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's online, it's designed to be convenient, it is flexible, and it is suited to your schedule. All you have to do really is just fill out a brief questionnaire. You get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists anytime, no additional charge. So get a break from your thoughts with BetterHelp. BetterHelp.com/big thing today. You get 10% off your first month when you do that. That's BetterHelp.com/big thing. All right. Thank you to our friends over at BetterHelp. Once again, if you need to talk to somebody, please, and you're able to, go ahead, go and check them out. They are fantastic. They have been helping out many people that I know, and hopefully they can help you as well. So go ahead and talk to people if you need to talk. The link is in the description. Okay, bringing it back to that question mark. I'll start with you.
Yeah.
Do you think that, and it's that James Fox quote that from a little while ago that we talked about, he says that within the next year, more and more stuff's going to come out that they're just not going to be able to big drops, big, we have this potential second hearing with other whistleblowers. There's other whistleblowers apparently that came forward that never were able to be on the record the way that Grusch was saying the same thing Grusch is saying. Is it going to happen or is it going to go away?
I don't think it'll go away. I think there's versions of happening that we
Yeah.
can talk about. Another hearing will happen, I believe.
Mhm.
I think that if NASA gets their hands on the alien bodies, supposed alien bodies from Mexico, that happens, maybe we can see something come out of that. Maybe they'll hide the information, and that part of that conversation might make us go, "Whatever happened to that?"
Right.
I don't see this going away. I don't see this going away, and I think it's because there are more whistleblowers out there, and that could go out and talk. I think if we are to believe that hearing when you have AOC and other members of the Republican Party, all working together to say, "Can we get in there? We'll get a skiff, whatever." It's not going to go away. It can't. This show's not going to go away anytime, right? So
No,
we're
and
going to keep talking about it.
well,
Um,
that's what's crazy. 'Cause that kind of lends me into my position. No, you're saying, go ahead, finish what you're saying.
no, yeah, no, yeah, I'm pretty much made my point. Yeah,
Well, but that kind of goes to what I was saying when you and I were talking about doing this initially, because we had just watched that 5-part series, the UFOs discovering the unknown, and that's really where this stemmed from. And
right.
initially, we're like, let's do it like once a month, and we'll talk about once a month because there'll probably be not that much to talk.
Right,
Um,
right.
and then that was right when the hearing was coming on. We didn't even know about the hearing when we started doing this show initially. Like it was like I think I had done something with Ellis, and that kind of spawned into me and you
Sure.
more so, and then the hearing happened. Then I was like, oh, maybe it'll start that, and then more stuff started coming out and more of the footage. And I even said to you, maybe at one point we'll just kind of break down some of the cases that have happened in the past. And we haven't even been able to do that much because there has been so much information with this new site, with NASA getting involved in it, and there's just so
The
much.
aliens.
But
We had
so
no idea that was happening.
no, when that happened, that was crazy. And the thing
That
is,
was like, what?
but that still is a like major game changer if NASA does do the experiments on these things and other people take samples of these things and it comes back. I mean, that's the end. That's the game changer. That's the if it's announced that it is absolutely otherworldly and NASA says it. If NASA does indeed, come out and do the samples and they go, we have scientific proof that these are things from not Earth. It's done. Then
I would
the
when
leaks
they
start.
then yeah, when they're and Tyson, this is the most important point. Like the moon rocks, distribute them
Yeah.
to, scientists all over the world, compare, contrast,
Yeah.
discuss your data. Same deal here. I love that he's suggesting that because because if that comes out that it's true, let's say, what if it's true? You can open up some more. The whistleblower Grush saying maybe they release more information from what we have. Alien bodies. Yep.
Right.
What you found in Mexico, we have here.
Yeah, and it's like,
That would
but
be monumental. That would be I think if anything like that, I'd like to believe that the American people, at least, or the world in general, would hear this information and everything else would go away because we would be talking about this. I'd like to believe that
yeah,
because that I would.
well, you think so, but but don't put too much trust in people. But
I know
the
because then
the
there'll be something put out there that says, but
right. I
uh,
picture inside of the two guys that are in charge of this whole thing are at odds with each other, and for some reason they're both from Brooklyn, and it's like, hey, hey, Vinny, look, I got to be honest with you, man. I think the gig is up. I think it's you got this guy Grush. Try to shut him up. He won't shut up. You got the guy showing the bodies in Mexico, and every 5 minutes is a new TikTok. I think we just give up what we got. Are you out
yeah,
of your mind? Are you out of your mind? We're not shutting down nothing. We're not shutting down nothing. These two guys are just going at it. They're trying for so long, and they're just screaming at each other like it's over. It's over.
uh, what does Paulie say?
Right? Paul, don't bring
Go check
Paulie
with
in.
Paulie.
Oh, Paulie hasn't been the same since since that Tic Tac thing came out. You don't want to talk about it.
Yeah,
Told the
they're
he
all making
offered
pasta and stuff,
yeah,
and
he offered the guy 14 pies for the rest of his life, and that guy is still talking in front of Congress.
oh my god.
Like, it's like,
Something like that. Hopefully,
yeah,
that'd be great.
there's this guys just arguing like, but it's got, it's like, no, but I mean, but as much as I'm goofing about that, it's like the whoever is in charge of those groups, they're just I would love to be a fly on the wall, and
I
it's like,
know. That's
what
the
are the
one.
conversations like? Are they panicking? Are they not? Are they going? It's look, we've been through this a million times over, or do they think like, no, this is different? Like as as you were just talking about it, how it's like, no, there's more and more stuff. As the reporter just said, it used to be more of a joke, and people are taking it more serious now. Is
Yeah.
this the thing that they never wanted to happen? Is it starting to happen?
I like that. Maybe it
You,
is.
you know what I mean? So it's like that.
Mhm.
That's why it's so curious of what those people behind the scenes, like I said, that's why I asked the question, will it go away? Do they feel it's going to go away? Do they feel like, yeah, look, it's the same
I
thing
hope
that
it
we've seen a million times over. They're going to talk about it for a bit and then it'll just go away. But because there's so many people now, and I'm not patting us on the back, but like people, when we're continuing it in the conversation, and there's other channels and other people on social media continuing it in the conversation. That's why I said social media is so strong
Yeah.
about this stuff now too, because I think there's so many people who not necessarily believe that there's aliens flying around, but they want to ask questions as far as like, well, give us an answer of what it really is then, and then we're going
Right.
to shut up.
Mhm.
And I think that those people, it used to be like, oh, there's nothing in the sky. That is quickly gone away. That is
Yeah.
quickly gone away.
That it seems to, right? It seems to be very, very a change in the wind because there's so much conversation around. At least there was some water cooler talk about those videos that dropped because a lot
Yeah,
of people saw them and went, "Whoa."
10 videos.
Then the conversation goes down the line of like, weather balloon, probably.
I want to
Yeah,
see, you know what? And I'm glad you brought that up again, because what I would like to do once again is, if I can find it, play that before our last video to show it, the MSNBC um, UFO video. All right, Riley, this is the last thing we'll talk about before we get out of here. It's a little bit of a longer video, but I think it's relevant enough, and it goes back to what we were talking about with the those videos, and also get a confirmation from Riley if this is the video he was talking about. But it was NBC that actually played this, and here's the video itself, and I'll play this, and then we'll talk about it afterwards.
And moving on now to what has become the most confusing story in the news these days. And here's why. Because as compelling as this video I'm about to show you is, we just do not have straight answers on what we're seeing. Of course, we're talking UFOs again, or unidentified anomalous phenomenon, as the government calls it. And we just came across a very odd, very under the radar release of some videos and documents that I've been trying to get for years. Now, with no explanation, all of a sudden, Customs and Border Patrol has released 10 videos from what looks like forward-looking infrared cameras from different incidents, and an odd 380 some pages of reports, news clippings, and emails about people at CBP talking about UAPs. But there is a lot redacted, so it's hard to understand exactly what's going on. And some of it has to do with agents saying they've seen stuff and being scared of the whole stigma that comes with talking about UAPs. But the videos paint a more black and white picture, and at least one of them, this one immediately caught my eye because it's the
One you're
same
talking
video I
about?
saw
Yeah.
years ago that I filed a Freedom of Information request to get my hands on. Never heard back. But among the UFO community, it is very well known. It's called the Agua Dia video. And again, there's no context released from the CBP. So I just want to show it to you so you can be left with the same questions I've been trying to get answered. What we're seeing here is allegedly from Agua Dia, Puerto Rico. Back in 2013, a CBP aircraft spots this thing that you're seeing right there in the middle of your screen flying over the airport, tracks it for several minutes. They're trying to figure out what it is. They just don't know. They don't have an exact size, but they think it's smaller than a plane, and they follow it as you see it there, going over some trees, going over a road, going over some fields. It's heading towards the ocean. Now, we're going to fast forward just a bit towards the ocean because that is when things get weird. Here you see it dip down into the ocean, doesn't seem to lose any speed, then continues on. Then maybe it looks like, I don't know, it splits into two or something, or maybe something joins it before they try to track it, disappears, just gets lost in the water, and then they lose sight of it. And again, we haven't heard an official comment on what this is from CBP. There have been theories that this is everything from a pelican to a UFO that can somehow dip into the water without losing velocity, which is beyond anything we have. So what it is, we don't know, but it is weird, and you'd think someone would tell us what was going on since this happened back in 2013. And that's just one of 10 videos released. Some of them seem to show things like floating objects over the border. That could be anything from hang gliders to balloons to drones, from cartels maybe. But again, all of this is coming after promises by lawmakers, by NASA, by the Pentagon that they are taking this seriously and could have answers soon. So fingers crossed. And I do want to bring in one very special person. This is
very
a
good.
person who has
Watch
led
it.
to this very odd
Together
time in our
talking
nation's
about it.
UAP history. He's former Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for Intelligence, Chris Mellon, who has been pushing the government to disclose more of what we know. Chris, thank you so much for joining us. I want to ask straight up, this release from CBP, what do you make of these videos being made public now?
It's very interesting. I don't know why it's coming at this time, but it's very significant for a couple of reasons. This will help the public understand what our military personnel are encountering all over the world.
Mhm.
We're getting on the Defense Department side 50 to 100 reports per month. And this is happening globally. It's happening overseas. It's happening off the East Coast and the West Coast. And this will help people better understand why Congress takes the issue seriously, why it's a national security issue, some of the challenges we're facing monitoring and controlling our airspace in the wake of the Chinese balloons, and of course, the explosion of drone use around the world. So I think it's very helpful, and kudos to Customs and Border Patrol.
So I've been watching these videos probably way too much today. And, some of them, the Agua Dia video still kind of baffles me. And yet some of the videos that we've seen, they look like they could be a hang glider. They look like they could be a balloon. But all of this is being released without like any context here. Do you think that that's one step forward or two steps back? Or as you said, is it still progress in your eyes?
It's absolutely progress in my eyes. I hope that the Defense Department and intelligence community are paying attention. These videos were released. People are not freaking out. They're not overreacting. It's helping to educate the public. They have many videos that are of a similar unclassified nature, or were, until they, out of the blue, created this new classification guide that made everything automatically classified. I don't.
So there's more to that also,
Yeah.
but it's a little longer. But I mean, that brings up another point. And then we'll this will be the last point I want to hear, and then we'll call it a day, Reilly. But like,
Yep.
is this also because it's like just kind of like a quiet dump,
Yeah.
right? Do these quiet dumps start happening for exactly what Mellon just said? Let's see how the public reacts to it.
Yeah.
Let's get more and more used to it. Let's get them talking about it more. And we're talking about it all the time. And now it's becoming less of the, and more people are talking about it all the time. All right. Drop the bomb. Let them know.
Yeah.
Is that possible?
It's a good plan. Again, are they freaking out, or are there tons of people not even aware of this? Because I would
Right.
look at the other side of that.
That's right.
Because not a lot of people are aware of this.
Because it was a quiet dump.
Because it was a quiet dump. Even my father, who I hung out with over the weekend, and I get into this with him because he was so into it back in the day, and then his skepticism took over. He doesn't believe it anymore.
Oh,
And I told him,
right now. Okay.
yeah, but I told him he was all willing to do it, but he it was probably because he's an alien himself and can't figure out his iPhone. He's not watching these videos. I'm trying to get him, and I should have brought the videos up, but we were instead revealing the gender of my baby,
Oh, that makes sense.
less important things out there. But that's my point, though, is if this quiet dump is happening, we need to get more people talking about it, which I think will happen because of social media, because of us, because of not us, but our show, other shows, YouTube, people on X or Twitter talking about this. That when you see that, I mean, that is some weird shit.
It's
More
again,
people needs to see that so they don't freak out. So they start to what you were saying, Kristian. Okay, what is that? Okay, drop the big one. You know,
And
that
may-
shared one that we all want.
and maybe that'll be it. Maybe it won't. Who knows? But the conversation continues on this show, man. That's
Yeah.
we're able to keep. I mean, there was a lot that came out this week. I always think like I don't know if there's going to be enough next week. There's always more than we can handle. We could probably go for another 45 minutes,
Yeah.
but there's so much, and I want to know from you guys of all the stuff that we talked about, what stands out. Did you even know about these 10 videos that they dropped? Did you hear about it from this show, or did you know about it already? Go ahead and let me know exactly what you thought. Mark Reilly, where can the good kids find you?
At Reilly Around on the internet, REILLY around. See you there.
And make sure that you are hitting that subscribe button. We are almost at 100,000. Hit the comments, put the likes. If you're able to support the show, the way to do it is getting one of our wonderful sponsors. I put the comment, the links in the first comment, and I pin it. And also, it's in the description of the video as well. So thank you guys so much for joining us here every single week on the UAP show. I love all the feedback. If you are looking to find some more stuff outside of what we do here, we do a lot of pop culture stuff. We do reviews, we do out of the theater reactions, we do a lot of pop culture, like I said, conversations, discussions. This one is the one that dedicated to the UAP phenomenon on Tuesdays. So for the great Mark Reilly, I'm me, you're you. We'll see you on the flip side. Bye.